Right, the Masters is over, and this is going to be another travel vlog back to the UK, but it's going to be basically interspersed with a review of the Masters, what it was all about, what I thought, the good things, the bad things, there weren't that many, and yeah, just basically filling you in with the whole experience because it was absolutely incredible. We're just back at the Addy house that's been here in Augusta this week. Might just grab a quick game of pool. Absolute ultimate man cave, by the way, before we head back home. It's gonna be a long day of travel, so it's Monday today. The golf bit of videos are already up, or the first one, so go check those out. And I'm sorry, I'm just in the coolest thing in the world. Check this out. The pool in the back garden, and they've got like a motorized pool cleaner, which is moving on wheels underneath the water. Wonderful world we're living in. Nice to do that, mate.
Thanks, mate. It was quite nice.
Nice to do that.
Beach Boy Bandit. The beach.
He is a Beach Boy Bandit, that's what he is.
Okay, yeah. Bring your beach towels.
See you in a bit, mate. Oh, don't cry.
Hi, Peter.
See you, bandits. Oh, hello. Okay, out of Heathrow, man, that was utter chaos, by the way, this morning. Anyone who's flown into Heathrow Terminal 3 this morning, oh my goodness, well done for getting out. I'm going to do this review as I go, so like I did Finch Friday when I was heading out to the Masters. So I'm just going to stop at every services pretty much and get a coffee. I'm going to need it. I'm absolutely shattered. I've not had any sleep on the flight, so it's like 5 o'clock in the morning or something now, my time. Anyway, I think the first thing to just have a bit of a think about and talk about is what Augusta was like as a whole, because I went in there with a few preconceptions. First of all, about it being a really rough area apart from the course, and I think it was partly because of the place that we were staying that was lovely, and the Addy house, the main Addy house, which was also just massive and incredible, and they were in nice areas, and we went from there to the course and we didn't really go through the downtown area too much. So from my point of view, my perspective, everything about Augusta was just absolutely lovely, but you know, I understand that I probably didn't see the other side of that. However, when we're talking about what the course was like and what that felt like, and that is the best way to describe it, what it felt like, because it, as soon as I got in there and as soon as I walked through the entrance down the first hole, it was a little bit emotional almost. I got a little twinge in my stomach and my chest. It's a place that I've seen so many times over the years, and just to be there and just to soak in that atmosphere and how it all was, it was absolutely fantastic. It was such an unusual thing as well, and I'll explain that in a moment. Stopping at Norton Keynes again, see the Air Ambulance Memorial again. So yeah, you can see the weather, it's lovely back home again, but I need to get out of the car, fresh air and another coffee. So yeah, Augusta was just, it's just like a massive park. That's the only way I can describe it. So if you live in the UK, you'll know what I mean by this, but like a country park that you'd go for a picnic at, it's like that, just with greens and bunkers. And it was interesting, the course as well, because when you look at it, the fairways on most of the course are very, very wide. There's bunkers obviously in strategic locations to trap bad tee shots, but you know, if you're hitting it well off the tee, or if you're hitting it marginally well off the tee, you can get yourself in decent position. But the approaches into the greens were, wow, I mean, if you missed in some locations, I just couldn't see how you could get up and down. Laying up in good locations, I couldn't see how you'd get up and down in some cases. And then the greens just looked so fast and so pure and everything that I expected them to be, and it was so cool to watch. And probably the best thing is when I watched Jordan Spieth on that last round, when he was on his roll with his putts, you could see if he'd made the putt from miles away. You know, it had that type of quality to it. And as you'd expect, the actual course, everything about it was absolutely perfect. Not a blade of grass out of position. And as far as a viewing course was concerned, It was actually okay. I was skeptical to begin with because whenever I've gone to watch a tournament, I've always been pretty disappointed about actually being able to see any of the action. But I was able to see more action at this tournament than definitely the Open that I went to last year. The Open at Birkdale, I didn't enjoy it in some cases because it was so hard to actually see what was going on. But no, I have to say I was impressed by that. The only thing that was a little bit more difficult, we bought the chairs on the last day, and actually getting those in position by the 16th, which is where we ended up watching, just by the green. It was a great spot. We had to get there so early, and even then there were so many people in front of us. Yeah, that was a slightly random bit of it, but hey, that's all part of the Masters tradition, I suppose. Next thing I want to talk about was staff and food. I have to say thank you to the staff at Norton Keynes. The car terminals are down here, and they've just given me free falafel wrap. Sometimes the world just conspires to help you out. Yeah, the staff at the Masters, unbelievable. It has to be said, they were friendly, enthusiastic, and genuinely happy to be there, which isn't always the case, especially if you're from the UK. Customer service over here isn't anything like it is in the US, but sometimes in the US you get the feeling it's just a little bit fake, a little bit for show, you know, part of the service, trying to get a bigger tip, you know, that type of thing. But I have to say, genuinely, they were all so nice, so friendly. Even the guys who were looking after the toilets, you know, that is not the most glamorous job in the world, especially when you got 100,000 golf fans going through there. But they were great. Everyone was just absolutely superb. So a big hat tip has to go to them. They were absolutely fantastic. It was actually one of the highlights of the whole trip, just how friendly everyone was. Right guys, just got home. I've just switched over to the main camera. I couldn't stop at another services. I had to get all the way back. I was really struggling at the end of that drive. It's so, I'm gone, I'm befuddled. But next on the list is concessions. Now I've been told about the concessions at Augusta before. It's basically just subsidised food and drink. And I've got to be honest, I was pretty impressed in the most part. Most of the food they were selling was pretty good. The fruit was pretty cheap. The beer was pretty cheap if people were divulging in that, but then there was lots of water and coffee and all the rest of it. And it was all pretty cheap. You know, it was good value for money when you compare it to somewhere like the Open Championship, where once you're in, they know you're not going to be going out, getting food, eating out and coming back in. So they rip you off a little bit at the Open, it has to be said. I've had some of the worst quality food I've ever eaten at the Open for the most expensive money. So I think a lot of the other championships can really learn from what the Masters do, because what the Masters do is they earn so much money through the shop, which I'll loop back round onto. Probably the most disappointing thing about the concessions, I've got to be honest, was the pimento cheese sandwich. I had built it up in my mind so much because everyone says, oh, you need to get the pimento cheese sandwich, pimento this, pimento that. And when I got it, I really didn't like it. And I like a cheese sandwich. I consider myself a cheese sandwich fan. Not quite an aficionado, but getting there, like a scratch handicap at cheese sandwiches. So yeah, it was just a bit, it was like really strong, it was overpowering, it just wasn't that nice. But the egg salad sandwich was lovely. But the shop, oh my God, the shop was intense. I'm sure they said that they turn over about 40 million in the shop over the week, which is insane if you think about it. But it is very expensive in there, but you can only get that stuff from there. So again, it's that thing where they have you and they know that you're gonna buy stuff. And I think the average spend in there was about $400. I spent $350, I think, there and about. I bought some stuff for myself, but I also bought some stuff for a giveaway. And I'll do a separate video on that, and I think I might drop that tomorrow. So stay tuned, Masters swag to be given away. Next up was how the tournament actually went and the winner. So Patrick Reed, first major championship, and I've got to be honest, I was surprised, and I think we were all surprised who were there, about how little support that he had. So I was going into that day thinking, well, Patrick Reed is, you know, the all-American kind of hero of the Ryder Cup. You know, his antics really did propel the Ryder Cup team, got the momentum going. He's very much the American Ian Poulter. So I kind of thought that a lot of people would be rooting for him, but literally 99% of the people we spoke to, obviously, to be fair, that's not an exaggeration, it really isn't. You know what, I'm gonna say 100% of the people who we spoke to did not want Reed to win. They wanted Spieth to win more than anyone else. And which is fine, you know, Spieth is definitely a pin-up of American golf, but the cheers for him were so much louder than they were for Reed, it was frightening. Why that is, I'm not 100% sure. I can kind of have a few guesses. You know, he's brash, he's cocky, he's confident, he says some things sometimes which don't come across the best. But having said that, you know, this is Patrick Reed. I really did expect him to have more support. One of the biggest surprises was when Ricky Fowler held his putt on the 18th to get one behind Reed, and again, Ricky was one of the fan favourites. The roar was massive, it was huge. Like, you knew what had happened on the 18th. I was stood down on the 18th tee waiting for Reed to tee off, and then you heard the roar from the last, and you knew Ricky had made that birdie. When Reed held his putt to win, it was kind of like it was almost like a perfunctory cheer and clap. And then everyone just went. Like, there was no real interest in it. It was such an odd feeling. It was almost like everyone was disappointed. But at the same time, obviously, he's not really going to be that bothered. He's just won the Masters, hasn't he? So next up is the company I was keeping while I was over there. So the trip that we went on was with Addy. They got me over there, they got Seb over there, they got Andy and Piers over there from Me and My Golf. You know, we're all sponsored by Adidas, so it was like an Adidas group outing. And while we were over there, we created some content. Those videos I think should be dropping next week. And then we also went to the Masters, obviously. So it was a fantastic trip. And I have to say, being around those guys was quite inspirational in some respects, because Andy and Piers, Me and My Golf, you know, they are the biggest golf YouTube channel now. They're absolutely smashing it. Seb has his own channel. He's trying to upload more content, but he's doing loads of stuff with #United and the Spencer FC channel. So Spencer's his brother. If any of you guys follow football on YouTube, you'll know that's just such a massive deal, a massive thing. It is absolutely incredible. So spending time with those guys was interesting, it was inspirational, like I said, to get their take on things and just pick up tips off them as well, because I think one of the best things you can do when you're trying to make it in anything, you know, is surround yourself with good people. And they are just fantastic people to know from a business point of view, and they're all just great lads as well. And it was a real pleasure to be spending that time with them. It was also great to see Rick over there. So he was invited over as someone's guest, and I saw him on Sunday, and we were literally, we were just boggle-eyed when we were there. It really was incredible. So it's the first time me and Rick have been there, and it was just incredible. It would be amazing to go back and play one day, and that is definitely on the bucket list. And remember, the vlogs, the Golf Bidder vlogs are out. So the secondhand club challenge where we picked the clubs, that was yesterday on my channel. The first part of the vlog from the Grove is now on Rick's channel. Part 2 tonight, part 3 tomorrow, and then it's going to be switching over for the back 9 on my channel. And I know you guys absolutely love the videos that me and Rick can do with this, so please give it support. Please check out those videos, hit the like, and let us know who you think picked the best bag. Right guys, thank you so much for watching this review. I'm going to get this edited and then go to bed. Actually no, I need to try and stay awake for a little bit longer if I can. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for following me on these little Masters trips as well. It is an incredible place. I think overall, so happy I've been, and hopefully get out there again. It would be fantastic. So guys, thank you so much. Subscribe, like the video, follow me on my other social media as well, linked in the description below. I'll see you next time. Oh, I don't know. I don't know either. What is that? Is that everything?